A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John, chapter 20, verses 2 to 8. Passage taken from the Message version of the Bible. Early in the morning, on the first day of the week, while it was still dark, Mary Magdalene came to the tomb and saw that the stone was moved away from the entrance. She ran at once to Simon, Peter, and the other disciple, the one Jesus loved, breathlessly panting. They took Peter and the other disciple, left immediately for the tomb. They ran neck and neck. The other disciple got to the tomb first, outrunning Peter. Stopping to look in, he saw the pieces of the linen cloth lying there, but he didn't go in. Simon Peter arrived after him, entered the tomb, observed the linen cloths lying there, and the kerchief used to cover his head not lying with the linen cloths but separate, neatly folded by itself. Then the other disciple, the one who had gotten there first, went into the tomb, took one look at the evidence, and believed. The Gospel of the Lord.
Reflections on the Gospel according to St. John, chapter 20, verses 1 to 8. Proclaim the Lord whom you have seen, heard, and touched. Today the Church celebrates the feast of St. John the Evangelist, Jesus' beloved disciple. Immediately after Christmas, liturgically, the feast of St. John leads us closer to the crib of Jesus as he teaches us lessons that help us enter deeply into the mystery of the Incarnation and the birth of the Son of God. Today we begin reading from the first letter of St. John, which we will ponder throughout the rest of the Christmas season. In his letter, John communicates the story of a God who became man. What was from the beginning, what we have heard, what we have seen with our eyes, what we looked upon and touched with our hands, concerning the word of life, for the life was made visible, we have seen it and testify to it, says John. What did John see? His most spectacular vision is narrated in today's Gospel. Although we are just starting the Christmas octave, today we have the Gospel passage that is often read during the Easter season. While we identify John the Evangelist with the beloved disciple, he invites each of us to contemplate the life of Jesus by imagining ourselves as the beloved disciple. As the disciple runs to the tomb, we are invited to have that same eagerness for the good news of the Lord. We have just finished unwrapping Christmas presents, recalling the gift of this holy child wrapped in swaddling clothes. Today, the Gospel draws our attention to the linen clothes that wrapped the crucified body of Jesus. The beloved disciple believed not because he saw the risen Jesus in glory, but because he sees the traces of God's presence. The linen clothes that recall the incredible outpouring of God's love in the life and death of Jesus. So it is with us. In this life, we never get to have a glimpse of the fullness of God's presence, just the traces. It is our faith that allows us to see God present behind those traces. In this Christmas season, we may have taken up many acts of charity, generously sharing the gifts with those in need. We have shared our time with our friends and loved ones. And we know of the hard work of justice and reconciliation and peacemaking that goes on around us and in us all year long. This is how we share the joy of Christmas with the people around us. And this is what John the Evangelist reminds us today. Share with others what we have heard and seen and looked upon and touched concerning the word of life. This is what we are invited to proclaim with our life as well as with our words about God's presence in and around us.